What's going on, you guys? This is Mo with another episode of Wheels and Paws. This is part 3 to the video. Today, you're going to watch me take the transmission apart. Let's go. Let's take it apart. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and remove the speed sensor. 10mm bolt right here. I got a little magnetic drain pan for the bigger bolts, the 14s. This one just pops right off. There we go. That's the speed sensor. Now what you want to do is lay it on its flat bottom. And you're going to remove this big bolt right here. All you need is the bigger size ratchet. And then inside this bolt there's a clip that holds the bearings on the shaft, the counter shaft that you have to release so you can pull the casing off of the transmission. Use the needle nose. If you come look inside right here, you're gonna see right inside this hole there's a little clip that you want to open so it releases the bearing. There you go. These are the 14mm bolts I was talking about. These are going to be holding the casing to the transmission. I'll put them here. So some of these bolts are really tight. So I'm just going to use the air gun to break them loose. You never use the air gun to put them on. Here you got the two 14mm bolts. That's where your detent spring is. And when we remove these two bolts, you're going to have the springs and the ball inside. There's 12mm. Okay, so now you have one bolt here, it's the reverse bolt. It holds the reverse shaft in place. so now that's left, we just got to remove the throwout bearing. Now we're ready to split it. You have the gear stack. Come look here. This is all bad. All metal shavings that we're going to tear apart right now and figure out what's went wrong. And we're going to rebuild it and clean it up. So inside the transmission, you have your shift selector, you have your shifter forks, 2 10mm bolts, 3 10mm bolts. That'll free this up. Then we can remove the gear stack. Two 10mm bolts. There's your reverse shifter. There's the shift selector. Take out the reverse gear. This is the reverse gear. So we'll remove that. Now we can remove all the gears. You're always going to have 2 shims, one's beveled and then the flat one on top. So keep it like that. There's your differential. Now that the casing is stripped, we can take it apart and clean it up to get all these kind of things out of there, because it's extremely dirty. And we're going to clean all the orange silicone off, clean it up, get all the old oil out of there, and then rebuild it. This is your gear stack. We're going to remove it and then rebuild it. So I just turned it upside down just like that. That way the way I took it apart, I can keep track of it and I can rebuild it based off this. Same exact setup, but replacing the gears and putting new synchros. I'll show you guys what's grinding. So as you can see, it's all broken down from the bearing from the top to what's underneath to what's underneath to the 5th gear synchro and vice versa, and we're going to now build it based off that. Alright, so we're going to remove this shaft out of here for now, and then we're going to put this one as we build it. Alright guys, let's build out the main shaft. So you got this roller bearing. This is the new gear, all brand new teeth. New synchro. There's a spring for it. So this slider is all worn. So we're going to have to get a new 2nd gear slider. Have to get a 2nd gear slider. slider right there, you put it down, and then like the teeth, you line them up. There you go. This is the old hub. This is the old second gear. Then you got this bearing here. You got this synchro here. Same thing with the teeth. Line it up. It goes like that. And you got this gear also brand new. This is second and third. And you put that like that. This is the fifth gear. Like that. Fifth gear, synchro. Got the bearing and hub. And then you got the holder. And you got the bearing. So now that the main shaft is built, I know for sure we're going to need a second gear, third gear slider. So I'm going to order the second gear, third gear slider. We're already in here, might as well replace it. That way everything is new. New gears, new synchros, new sliders, new hubs, everything will be new. Now, let's move on to the counter shaft. Okay guys, so here's what I found is the problem. Every synchro has a ring, except this one. So this is the ring that I found inside the transmission, and it was completely torn. So as you can see, they all have rings that look like this. Around each synchro is a spacer, but for some reason this one decided to leave the chat and just destroy my transmission. So that's why we're rebuilding it. Okay, so now we're going to remove the counter shaft. The counter shaft has a 32 mil bolt on the top. I highly advise you hold it with a towel and then you zap it right off. Half the counter shaft apart, I have some wood here that I'm going to lay out on the floor, and you're going to turn it upside down like this, and you're going to want to smack it hard against the ground. And that will free the gears. Taken apart. I built out the main shaft. We're going to have to replace this slider. And I took apart the counter shaft, and the reverse slider is all grinded down, as you can see. So we have to replace this. So I'm going to have to order the two sliders and then put it all back together. Alright guys, let's rebuild the main shaft. This is the old first gear. As you can see, the teeth are worn out. So we're going to grab the new first gear. It's right here. This is the new first gear. It's also a longer first gear by M Factory. Put the springs, the rollers right here. These are the roller bearings. And then you put the first gear. spacer sits right above it. And here's your old hub. And there's the reverse new slider compared to the old slider. You can see it's worn down right there. All the teeth on the top have been grinded. Compared to this is nice and shiny. This one down in here. And it's got the teeth on the synchro. You want to line them up. There we go. So now we've got the slider. And we already know it fits. So now we gotta just turn until it drops. There we go. Now you get this synchro. Put the spacer. Teeth have to sit in there. There we go. This one's pretty damaged here, so I'm going to see if I got the new gear for it. So you can see the new and old gear. Teeth are all grinded down right there. This one's all new. And then you want to just push this. Gasket right there. Put this gear right there. Perfect. And you put this bearing inside here. So we got the new sliders for the main shaft, so we're going to take it apart really quick and switch out the sliders. We got the new hub last time. Gasket maker, give it a nice clean surface, remove all the old silicone so it seals nicely. So all you guys really need for this side is just a razor blade and a wire brush, because we're going to just wire brush this stuff off like that. brushes, get all the oil out of here. And then we'll be back in action to reassemble and close it up. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And we're almost done. As you can see, everything's all cleaned up. The gears, the transmission case. Now we're going to put it all back together. So this is your magnetic catch. As you can see, it's nice and clean. Slide that in there. And then you take the diff, pop that boy in there. And you want to make sure these are all in neutral. Once these are in neutral, then you line up the stacks. Don't forget this. You got the beveled, then you got the flat. They go here and there. So you grab it as one. There you go. So now the stack is all back together. The diff, counter shaft, main shaft. You got the shift forks. Now you grab the shift selector. It's got the 3 10mm bolts. Takes a little bit of massaging. You wiggle, wiggle. Go. Just want to screw it in by hand. Always want to catch the threads by hand before you torque it down. Now that it's screwed in, you can torque it down. Now you take your reverse gear, pop that boy in there. There you go. And you take the reverse shifter, so now that we got the reverse shifter, you want the same thing, screw it in by hand. There you go. Now you want to torque it all down. You want to double check your work by the hand tool. That's tight. That's tight. That's tight. That's tight. That's tight. So now, as you can see, we got the shift selector, the reverse shifter, the shifter forks, the stacks, counter shaft, main shaft, diff. Everything is in here. So now what we do is we get the silicone, put it all on the bottom, and then we get the main case and then put it on the top. This is very important here. You have to line this up. So this part right here, you have to line it up straight with this top bolt. That way when it fits inside the casing, there's a groove inside the casing. It's right there. This part lines up inside the casing, and it'll make it easier to close. Okay. Alright guys, so you want to use this right here, this ultra black gasket maker, oil resistant, and you're going to just draw a nice even line, just like this. All around. There you go. So now we line up this bearing right with the center bolt. Make sure it's all free. And then we take this casing . Okay, so now we got the casing on. We gotta just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until you hear it just drop. There it goes. Easy peasy. Now don't forget, you have the spring up on the top here. The same way when we unclipped it to pull the casing out, now you gotta open it. You gotta open it so when you press down, it locks. There you go. So now I have the space for it needs. And now we can go ahead and put the transmission bolts in. Alright guys, so as you can see, I put everything together. It slid right on. You got your 12 mil bolts, you got your detent springs, you got your reverse bolt right here. The clip is attached to the bearing. Last thing we need to do is on this bolt right here, you just put silicone on the threads all around, and then when you screw it in, it makes a seal. Alright guys, and there you have it. Transmission is all done. Thank you for watching. I know it was a long video. I hope I showed you a lot. If you have any questions, hit the comments down below. Ask away. I'll respond to all your questions. Transmission is done. The next part will be part 4. We'll put the transmission back in the car, bolt it up, and part 5 will be getting the car back on the road. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button.